Hello, and we are live. Guys, it's been a while. I don't know if I've done a video. I've done some shorts here and there, but this is going to be just kind of what I've been up to the last few months and what the channel is going to be kind of going forward. First and foremost, got a new webcam here, moved my stuff around. This is the opposite side of my office, so we're still playing with the lights and making sure everything looks good. But I am so happy to be back on BookTube. Been kind of getting back into watching more people's videos, but to the reason of why I've been gone, I was just so crazy busy at the end of last year. Hey. Thanks for stopping in, Birdie. Yeah. So I coach my son's football team. One of the big things that's taken up a lot of my time that I would have here on BookTube is I've been working out, and I just turned 37, and I'm like, I got to start taking better care of myself. So, that's what I'm doing 3 or 4 times a week at the end of the day. Peak season's always big. I still work at the post office, so that's always the busiest time of the year. Coaching my son's football team at the end of the season, just a lot of stuff. And if you've seen recently, I did release a book. It's only on ebook right now because we're doing some custom things, putting some pictures on the inside of the book for really the first time. So the paperback and hardcover will be out for More Than Legends soon. But what are we doing here at the channel? What's going to be going forward? And I'm going to try to be more regular. Yeah. So this is kind of a test to get back into it, because next Sunday I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Philip Chase, Dr. Fantasy himself. He was the first person I ever interviewed. He was actually the first person to ever review my book, More Than a Vampire, which is like over there on the other side. Which it's been picking up a lot of traction. I don't know, like I've had some booktubers picking it up, people picking up the audio, and just page reads and lots. So I've been super happy this beginning of this year. But so we're gonna do more of these lives, and as I said, I'm gonna have Dr. Chase. Yeah, he's gonna be here next week. I believe we're doing 7 p.m. maybe. I'll have it up here soon. But the following week, I am going to have Jenna Marassi on. If you don't know who she is like one of the biggest author tubers on the planet. She has, I think she's got close to like 300,000 subscribers. She was one of the first people when I decided I was gonna publish my books, get serious about my writing and everything. I was listening to her and iWriterly, Meg Latour over there. But yeah, so I've always wanted to have her on the channel. So we're gonna have her on February 2nd, I do believe. So that's gonna be fun. We get to pick her brain. She's a well-known indie published author. But what am I going to be reading this upcoming year? Well, the first book I read this year was The Way of Edan. And so I got to read his book. Actually, did the audiobook for the specific fact, if I can talk. I wanted to hear Alan's narration of it. I've been, ever since they said that he was gonna do it, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait. I know I'm gonna be behind a million other people, but I'm gonna wait until the audiobook comes out, because I might want to talk to Alan later about how it was doing an audio book. But yeah, so that was I'm not going to do the full review here, but very classic fantasy. kind of a little bit dark at the very beginning to kind of I think it was kind of to be like, all right, modern people kind of are drawn to darker things. So the beginning of the book is kind of some dark things happen, but then it's very classic fantasy, very chosen one farm boy type deal. So I can't wait to talk to him about that. And then I'm going to read, I already read The Savior's Champion, which is Jenna's big book. I'm going to read The Savior's Sister, which is like the companion novel. I don't think it's a sequel. I think it just kind of happens at the same time. So I'm going to read that one too, so I can talk to her about those. She also does a lot of, reading, writing advice. But yeah, a big one that I also want to get into is the second trilogy in the First Law. Yeah, I really loved the First Law. It was one of the first big trilogies that I got into when I started this like 3 years ago. But yeah, I don't know why I haven't made it back to it yet. I think early when you first start a booktube channel, you're like, I'm trying to, you're gonna have this one thing. Like I had the Dresden Files. Like I was gonna do the Dresden Files no matter what, because it's just, I mean, which side over here? All it's the best. So I had that, but then I also was I was jumping around and trying to get all these big series then. Oh, okay. Gifted me both of your books, picking them. Oh, well, I can't wait to see what you think about them. I'm assuming by 2, I would think Vampire and More Than a God War. And yeah, so that's great. I'm actually I'm at the trilogy, the third book in the Unbreakable trilogy. I am going to be starting that next month. I just released my 4th book. The 5th book is already done. It's another standalone called More Than a Dragon, and it follows Dracula. So don't want to do too much, but if once you get into those books, maybe Dracula will like really perk your interest, and you'll be waiting for the release of that. Yeah, I can't wait to get on to the 3rd book. You're not gonna have to worry about me pulling a George R.R. Martin, because those will be done. And once I finish the Unbreakable trilogy, the plan, unless something else comes up, the plan is to go into urban fantasy, and we're going to move forward a little bit in time with the series. So, yeah, that's exciting. I don't know. Another thing I wanted to kind of talk about on here was, I don't know if you guys have seen the, Larry Correa, Monster Hunter International guy, but he just finished an epic fantasy series. I don't know if there were 6 book series of his latest series, but where he put in, at the end, the dedication was to George R. R. Martin. It's like, see, to George R. R. Martin, see, it's not that hard. And I'm just like, oh man, because I know some more stuff has been leaking about, George R. R. Martin not finishing the book or not getting any further in the book. And I'm like, come on, George. Like we need, like, at least finish this one, and then somebody else can finish the next one for you. But also, my best friend, if you guys watch the show often, you'll see that my friend Nathan jumps on all the time, and we're probably going to have some live discussions about this book, Dungeon Crawl Carl, if I can speak correctly. I know this is everywhere now. I haven't got around to it, so it's going to be towards the top of my list. And that might be a book series, because we did all of Dresden Files, then we did, and then into last year, we did all of The Witcher. So I don't know. Dungeon Crawl Car might be the next one. I've heard nothing but good things, like, especially from the audio. People are like, it's one of the best audios of all time. So I'm pretty darn excited about that. Let's see, what else do we got? So I was looking, he doesn't. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I kind of kept up on it with George, and that was the one thing is I think he said he was 1,400 pages into it. Now that doesn't mean that would be 1,400, completely edited and finished pages, but for being 1,400, and he said he was maybe 300 or 400 pages away. That is a lot to tie in, and that's a huge book, and that's a big ask for people to almost do 2,000 pages, maybe. Um, but yeah, yeah. Thanks for stopping in, Dwight. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Oh, and I figure I might as well open it up here. Yeah, like I don't know, like 2 months ago, I won a book when I was listening to, I believe it was Tony's live there on an Erudite Adventure. But I won the book, What If We Met in a Bookstore? Yeah, by Callie McKay. And it's got several 5-star reviews on Amazon. And it looks like it kind of starts off like a normal story. This guy is Peter West is dreaming of becoming a successful escape room artist, and then you have Briar Verlies. I don't know if I'm probably not saying that right, but I'm guessing you're having like two separate stories going on at the same time, and it looks like somewhere at some point in the story it goes from is it magic, is it mundane, which I love that. And I believe this is actually set in Alaska, which might be another reason why Tony did it, because he's up there in the North Pole. But I will love to get into that book and kind of see that, because that's been a new thing I've been kind of getting into, is it magic, is it mundane? But yeah, those are going to be the main the main book series that I'm going to be getting into over the next couple months, with Dungeon Crawler and First Law. And then as they release the audiobooks, I'm going to go more and more into the Way of Adon. And next week, me and Philip will be talking a lot more about that book, but we're also going to talk a lot about self-publishing. I think that is what most of this next video with Philip is going to be about. A lot about publishing, of what he's learned, and if he did do query letters to TradPub and how that went. I'm really interested to see how his publishing journey has gone and what he's doing next. Yeah, but I am just rearing up to get back. Try to do at least one video a week, probably live. But I might sneak a review in if I think the review really needs to be done. I've also, and let me know in the comments, I've been toying with the idea of, I've never done ratings on books because I'm an author myself, and I'm just kind of I feel a little bit weird doing that, asking you guys to, rate my books on Amazon, because it helps so much. But then I also don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, especially if I didn't like a book, to rate it lower. But I had been toying with the idea of, instead of doing like 4 or 5 stars, doing like a 10-point system. And, because I used to be a big movie critic. I've reviewed thousands of movies when I was younger. But, yeah, I would just love to see what you guys think. Would you guys be interested in a 10-point system? Is that something that you would be interested in? Oh yeah, I would absolutely. Yeah, Alicia, I would definitely love to be on it. And that's one thing that I'm gonna try and do more this year. Is, if anybody wants to have me on for discussions, whether it be like interviews about my books or just to talk about writing or fantasy in general, I'm gonna try to be more available for those, and try to, since I'm not gonna be pressuring myself to like get out like I used to, where I was like, I have to get 3 or 4 videos out a week. I'm going to be a lot more flexible to do a bunch of different things and try some new stuff. Hopefully, when I'm going to be looking back at this, we'll see how much better this camera is than my old camera. And so the setup's getting a little bit better. We're going to keep kind of working on it. Yeah, this isn't going to, we're going to be closing this live up. Not going to be on here too long, just because I wanted to get back into you guys and talk a little bit about, I had 1,000, I think, I think I crossed 1,000 videos made, and that includes shorts. So don't think it was all just long form videos, but 1,000 videos. Last year crossed 1 million views. And so I did feel a little bit of a burnout, but it wasn't my lack of wanting to make videos. It was more of just so many different things, working out, coaching, writing, work. Eventually it becomes too much. But this year, I think we're going to be in a lot better spot, a lot more laid back, a lot more interviews. If there's authors, I don't care how big they are. If there's an author that you would like to see me reach out to, like last year, I was able to speak with my, my biggest influence, which was Jim Butcher. I think that video is still, like, if you look up Jim Butcher videos, I think that's still like number 1, number 2. That's like my biggest video of all time. I think I just crossed like 11,000 views on that video. But I got to talk last year. I got to talk to Jim Butcher, Kevin Hearn. I got to speak with Richard Kadri again, Eric July, a lot of different people. So that's what I want to try to do now. Get more interesting interviews out to you guys. So if you guys have anybody you'd like to see me reach out to, I've tried to get a few really, really big guys on, and some people said no, some people waiting to hear back on. But yeah, I'm just trying to get back in the groove here, guys. Thank you guys for coming on, and the people who watch this on the replay. I just appreciate the time that you guys come back and watch me again. And we're going to keep trying to do some really cool things for you guys. So remember, guys.